Hello, everybody. Dr. Cari here again, and we're talking about brain health. So this little video is about what gets in the way of a healthy brain. So we talked last time about the things the brain needed: oxygen, needs an energy source, needs nutrients, needs sleep, and it needs stimulation, right? Those are all important. So what gets in the way of our brain being healthy? Well, first of all, not get enough oxygen to it. So how do we not get enough oxygen to it? We sit around too much. Anybody sitting around more? Now, maybe some of you have taken this time to exercise more. Yay! But many of us aren't walking as much, aren't moving as much. We're not getting the circulation. And one of the things for you to know about your body is that the cerebral spinal fluid is the fluid within your spine that nourishes your nerves, nourishes your brain. It doesn't have a pump. The only thing that moves it is our movement of muscles. So getting up, sitting down, exercising, all of that circulates that cerebral spinal fluid. And that's why often when people sit a lot, their low back sort of nerves start to degenerate a little bit, and they end up with, disc problems and so on and so forth, because it's just not getting nourished. So what gets in the way? Being too sedentary. You're not getting the flush out of the brain, right? What else gets in the way? Skipping meals, because if you're a person who's running his brain off of glucose, and then you don't eat, you don't give the glucose to the brain that it needs, it puts the body into an emergency state. It releases stress hormones. It puts the body into a stress state. Chronic stress is not good for our brain health, right? So not getting the nutrients that the body needs, not getting the glucose it needs. Or if you're doing the ketogenic diet, then you got to be staying in the ketogenic diet. This back and forth between being in ketosis and not is really hard on the body and takes a few days for the body to adjust. So if you're going to run off of ketones for your brain, then run off of ketones. Otherwise, eating a modified ketogenic diet is fine, but you want to make sure you're eating at a regular interval so that brain is getting the energy that it needs on a regular basis. Because that right there, brain doesn't have energy, brain cells start to die. That's the reason why it is a stress response in the body when there's not enough glucose, because the body does everything it can to protect your brain and your heart, the things that keep you alive, right? So another really important piece that gets in the way of our brain health is sleep. We want 7 hours, and we need to be getting into deep sleep. Why? Because when we're not getting sleep, our body doesn't go through this natural flushing process where it flushes out the brain, gets rid of all those toxins. So super, super important that we're getting those 7 hours of sleep. Sleep hygiene, super important. The hours really need to be between 11 and then, somewhere, whatever 7 hours later after that is. What is that? 7 hours after 11 and 6? Boy, I think I need something for my brain. 11 and 6 a.m. Those are sort of the optimal hours. 10 and 6 a.m., something like that. No less than 7 hours of sleep. And we want to be making sure we're getting into that deep, deep sleep state. Sleeping pills don't tend to let us get into that deep state. So that's why, like Ambien, it's supposed to take 10 years off of your lifespan. So not a good option for healthy sleep. So sleep hygiene, super important here, making sure the screens go off, start to wind yourself down and getting in bed so that you're asleep by 11 o'clock, really helpful. Between 11 and 3, hard time to fall asleep, because it's the time in Chinese medicine when the gallbladder and the liver are the most active. We want to be asleep when those organs come online in the energy cycle of the body. Okay. So stimulation, TV is not brain stimulation, I gotta tell you. So you want to make sure that you are playing math puzzles or doing word games or playing Scrabble with the family, something where you are using your brain function. Taking online courses, you want to be stimulating that brain. A brain that is not stimulated starts to shrink. A brain that's stimulated, you are forming new neural pathways, and that brain is staying robust. The amazing thing about a brain is if it loses a pathway, let's say someone had a stroke and it loses a pathway, it can form other new pathways if it has the proper stimulation. So the old adage, you don't use it, you lose it. There you have it. So make sure that you're getting proper stimulation to your brain, not sitting in front of the TV all day, not doing the same things over and over and over. Try new activities. Okay. Super, super important. And then Nutrients. So what gets in the way of nutrients to our brain? Eating food that is loaded with chemicals. You guys know my book at this point, The Food Solution. It's all about getting the chemicals out of our food. Why? When there's chemicals in our food, by the way, which can get into the brain and cause issues, we don't get nutrients. The more chemicals in our food, the less nutrients in our food. We need nutrition. We need essential fatty acids. We need protein. We need these things for a healthy brain. Okay. Trans fats, hydrogenated fats, fried food is not nutrition for the brain. It's actually stuff that will help make the brain sick. So back to again, we need oxygen. So sitting around, not moving, not good for the brain. We need energy. So skipping meals and, not making sure that we're getting the right, whether we're doing the ketogenic diet or whether we're using glucose to run our brains, making sure we're getting it at regular intervals, super important. Nutrients, making sure we're eating our vegetables, people. That's what supplies the nutrients to our brain. Making sure we're eating healthy fats. That's what supplies the essential fatty acids to our brain. Sleep. Get to sleep. 7 hours. 7 hours. That's what we need. And stimulation, right? Do stuff to stimulate that brain. Use it. Don't overuse it. You can relax too. But again, the TV is not stimulation. The TV is not relaxation, right? So these are things that our brain needs to stay healthy, and those are the things that get in the way when and cause brains to degenerate. So please, please, please do everything you can to take care of these brains. Without them, it's not good, right? So, and you know that Alzheimer's going through the roof in this country, and I can only imagine. I mean, right now with the masking, get outside without a mask, get some fresh oxygen in, wear the mask when you need to be safe, to keep others safe, but as much as possible, keep the mask off and breathe fresh air. The air in our house is more polluted than the air outside in most cases, depending on where you live. Get outside, get fresh air. We need that oxygen. Take those walks, right? Okay, so our next video is what you can do. I already started giving you some suggestions, so stay tuned for that next video, and please do everything you can to take good care of yourself right now.